Hello everyone, my name is Elijah Chapman, and this is Tenacity. Tenacity is a 3D top-down, team-based cooperative game which pits player-controlled champions against hordes of oncoming enemies in a fantasy environment. In Tenacity, it is a player's task to defend their home and to drive back invading forces. So in summary, the player is going to control a single hero working with a team of 8 other players in MOBA-style controls against waves of computer-controlled enemies in defense of the base in the center of the map. So what's the hook? Well, I've written it out here. Tweet length, as requested. The thing that makes this game special is that most MOBAs focus on PvP content instead of PvE content. So that's going to make this game very unique and I think very appealing. So here's a quick rundown of the rules. We talked about it a little bit just a second ago in how the player is going to be able to actually interact with the game. But here's the way it works. The player comes in, they're going to be able to spend money on items, they're going to go to a lane, they're going to fight against the waves of enemies that come in for an income, they're going to spend that income on more items. Eventually they're going to be able to push down to the enemy spawns, destroy them, cause bosses to spawn. Teams are going to have to work together to destroy those. Final wave comes against the base, they beat it, they win. If at any point all the players are incapacitated, the players lose. And if at any point the base is destroyed, the players lose. So who are the antagonizing forces? In this game, we're going to have a series of diverse computer-controlled AI enemies. We're going to say 5 to 8 types, just to keep it limited with our scope in 4 months. So what about player decisions? Well, the individual player in a map like this is just kind of a generic example of what a map would look like. You got the enemy spawn points is the red circles, the blue circles are shops, and the green is going to be the player's base. Players will spawn near the center, they're going to move out to their lanes, they're going to pick up their items from the shops in their lanes, and they're going to immediately go to work trying to repel the waves of enemies. Generally they're going to break off into duos, but it's important that players strategize, because there are some strategies that just simply will not work and be successful in defending once the waves get harder and harder later on in the game. So the players then have to make decisions. Is their comp going to be strong enough to go to the late game? Can they handle the later waves of enemies? How are they going to be able to get the income they need to fight the bosses? And all of those things are the things that the players are going to have to decide on. As far as the theme, we mentioned it a little bit before. Swords and magic, throwing fireballs, hack and slash, that sort of thing. We're going to have elves, dwarves, humans, that sort of thing. Enemies being orcs and goblins, things the players are going to recognize. This game is going to be similar to other MOBAs, shares the inventory systems, leveling, other things that I've mentioned here. The way that the players mechanically are going to be controlled is going to be very familiar. You're going to have the hero, casting abilities, right-clicking around, RTS style. But it's dissimilar because, again, it focuses on PvE instead of PvP combat. I really want to drive that point home. Risks. This game is going to have a lot of distinct and disparate elements that take a lot of time to develop and balance. There is a potential that we might have an issue doing that within the time allotted. Also, like Diablo, this kind of PvE combat isn't always interesting, so we're going to have a design task ahead of us to make that something that players are going to really enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed my pitch. Thank you for watching. Once again, this has been Elijah Chapman, bringing you Tenacity.